Mac. Hey, now,
Correct.
now it's recording in progress.
Correct. So
This
now it
meeting is
is
being recorded. Yeah.
recording in
So,
progress.
exactly. So, hi, my name is Abhinay, and today we have Manoj. And Manoj happens to be my schoolmate or university mate. We studied together uh, in Pune. But beyond that, I have a special connection with Manoj. He's one of the futurists I always talk to. He is always thinking about possibilities, and I think he's a great person to listen to. And as in my pursuit of bringing in amazing people on our platform at Big Fat Indian Party, Manoj is a great addition to this concept. So, welcome Manoj to Big Fat Indian Party.
Yep. Thanks, Abhinay. Thanks for that. And it's really nice to come here and have a word with you because you always have been curious one who speaks openly about that. And it's very interesting to speak to people who knows things and they speak openly about things.
Thank you very much. So today is a special day and a special episode as well. Today is Akshay Tritiya, and we are beginning uh, our podcast on the future. And this is really important right now because there has been a large scale disruption, which Manoj will elaborate when we start talking. And due to that, it's kind of hard to predict where to place your bet in future, and then it needs some sort of manthan to be done, some sort of idea churning to be done on future, and that's where we bring experts like Manoj, who will isolate each component of the future and have his analysis, and the result of this analysis are the tools we will have to predict or sculpt the future. So without much of formalities, let's get started and let's ask Manoj a few questions about the future. So my first question to you, Manoj, is what can you assess the global situation, like what is happening now, and can you give us and our viewers an insight of your understanding of the situation in the world?
Global situation, as everyone know, it's very unpredictable at this time. Nobody can predict what is happening. Reason being, you sleep with some thoughts in the morning that complete things change. You'll see that okay, people are right now looking for who will be dominating the future. What are the different tools they have to dominate the future, and that is where the problems, or maybe everyone is looking for a bigger piece of the pie, be it China, be it India, be it US, everyone is looking for a bigger piece of a pie and they want to protect their pie as well. And that is where the unpredictability comes because there has been in the past, yes, people have been collaborating. They have been
Right,
working together. They have been creating
right,
bigger ways to okay how they can collaborate together in a mutual understanding way. Right now, people are looking for self benefit more and more.
right,
Okay, how do I get a bigger piece of the pie? How do I get more out of that? And that brings the unpredictability part because here we, maybe a country or a person who knows how to bargain better, who understands okay what he could achieve and those things, they will probably have a better chance rather than
right,
people who have just been looking okay somebody will understand my situation and they will be accommodating. That is may not be the right situation at this point, and there a lot of things are happening. People yes, people are stressed, people are fearful because they don't know what is there in the future. And
right.
as a human we always wanted a very predictable future where we thought like okay, at the age of 25 I will get married, at the age of 27 I will
Right.
get, at the age I will probably 40 I will have a house, at the age of 60 I will like to retire. Because again if you look at this part, you have planned the future and you are working towards that. Now you don't know
Exactly.
whether you'll be able to
Exactly.
get retired at 60 or whether retiring at 60 is even possible and what to do after retirement. So that brings
Exactly. But I also feel like you pointed out something really interesting. Like people are collaborating less, or rather they are collaborating in slightly different ways.
Correct.
So, for example, you see unusual coalitions now coming up, which have no geographical significance or no ideological significance as well. I mean, you look at the politics in Maharashtra, for example. People on the right side and the left side are forming coalitions and so on. And also at a global scale, you see that, or the global level, you see that the conflict between America and Canada. I mean, it is something that we never could assume would happen, and that has happened. And why do you think this is happening? Like, why is what can be the underlying reason for this kind of behavior people are exhibiting these days?
Again, I believe as it also comes down from the fact that future is becoming unpredictable. Okay, so people want to protect what they have, and in order
Right,
to protect them, they have to make some hard choices, some difficult choices, and choices they have never imagined they will make. Okay,
right,
again, nobody is right or wrong here. It's again the perspective. People, some people think that they will should have maybe more dominance, or they should receive more because they are doing more. Okay,
right,
and some people, yeah, so that is where the problem stems from, that comes from, that people are, again, as I told you before as well, they are looking for how to protect their future. Again, it is a
right.
existential crisis for everyone. Okay, we, when you look at America, they say it right,
Yeah,
job will be going, and it has already, like in the past also, it has gone to the different countries, so they also need to
right,
protect that. How do, if
right.
the future becomes more and more robotic, what the people will do, how they will give jobs to others, so they cannot lose.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's also quite right because you know there are so many questions that need to be explored, like what happens to the tax revenue, for example, if robots take over, or what happens to the old business models that were based on trading, for example, over production and so on. So I feel like, and also I think when you said that, okay, when I asked you, like, if you can explain what is happening, you said it's so unpredictable that it almost looks like people are gambling with their future, trying to make unconventional choices just to see what best can happen. And I mean, if you look at it sectorially as well, like each sector is undergoing a transformation, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm seeing trade, for example, supply chain. It's going undergoing a massive transformation. Uh, what other areas do you see transformations going on?
Again, it's each and every area. Yesterday
Yeah.
only I was looking from the Xiaomi video, that okay,
Yeah.
how they have a factory which is completely run by robots, which is running 24 into 7. Earlier the
Yeah.
cost of labor for them was $5.69 per hour. Now it has
Mhm.
increased to $1.12. Okay, and
Wow.
this is not just like it's artificially managed, where machines are getting, let's suppose, replacing themselves, they're self-correcting themselves when the error comes, so it's working completely autonomously. There is
Autonomously.
very minimum human intervention in that. It's again, if the sensor goes wrong, machine itself look for the answer, okay, how to correct that, and they are correcting it.
Right. So is future then sort of like, you can't imagine a future without AI then, right? So AI
I
is going to
believe
be
we
a big
have to agree, and maybe the way we have speed at which we are moving forward, it
yeah.
is impossible. I could imagine a future where human and robots will not be there. We have to learn
Right.
to coexist. And now the
Right.
problem is, as a society, we don't know how to coexist. As a government, we don't know how to coexist. So whether if Xiaomi is making out of 5.69, 1.12, how do we tax it? Because there has been no precedence before that. How do you
Exactly.
tax the work done by robots? Because you always knew how to tax the work done by human. And
Right.
again, it took some time for that system to mature. But right now, we do not have those precedents. So yes, and
correct.
again, I believe even if you read Bill Gates, he said human will not be working. They will be doing things, and again, we had to do work because there was no one else to do work. It does not
But
mean
then what will humans do if like
that's a
if so what is the role of a human being in the society in the future then?
okay. Let's put it this way: if today
Yeah,
you have everything in the world that you want,
yeah,
that is at your fingertip, what will you be doing?
yeah.
You'll be doing work, or you want to do something else. And what is that something else?
But isn't AI doing it better as well? There's something else. So, for example, I always thought
It's
I'll make music, for example, and AI is doing it better than me now.
correct.
So what will I do now? Think what AI is doing thinking as well.
Correct. So again, now it changes from the competitive society. Again, let's suppose when you spoke about music, there are different kinds of music, right? There are
Yeah,
great musicians, there are maybe not so great musicians, and some everybody coexists. It does not make
right.
difference whether AI does better than that or not, because if you are so underconfident or you are always comparing yourself with the others, then probably you
Right.
have a challenge because it's not possible that to predict you are the best at everything or you are, will be. If I want to create music, I will create music. It does not make difference to me whether
Right.
that's a great music or not, because I wanted to create it. It's not for the sake of it gives me living, it gives me a appreciation. It's because I love creating music, I have created that.
So what you mean to say then is that people will find purpose in what they do over return. So from a return oriented society, we will be more of a purpose driven society.
Purpose
Uh,
driven society, correct, and again that
yeah,
change will not come very easily because
yeah,
lot of disruption will happen before that, and the societies which are matured enough already
yeah,
at the equality, probably they will be
yeah,
able to achieve it faster and in a much better way. And where there is a lot of inequality, they will have to do a lot of bargain tussles between that, because again, suddenly from achieving something to do a purpose driven work is
yeah,
not easy. It requires a lot of maturity.
yeah.
It requires a lot of different kind of a thinking, because always as a human, one more thing that we always had was, okay, I want to achieve more, I want to have more.
Selfishness. Yeah,
Selfishness, or I will not say selfishness as such, it's again ambitious, which kept, that was the fuel. So now the purpose will be the fuel, but you'll get a chance to explore, okay, what I like.
right.
And
And then what I like also without the pressure of being the best because there is no need to be the best now,
there is no
right?
need to be the best.
Yeah,
Again, if you look today as well, normally what happens is people have started finding that a lot of people have started, because even if you are not best, you don't want appreciation from 1,000 people. Even appreciation
right,
of 10 people may be good enough for somebody. Some people might be getting appreciation from 1,000. So getting
right,
appreciation from 10 is not that big a difficulty, but as soon as you make it more ambitious, that okay, I want appreciation from everyone, every corner, every different perspective, then it becomes really, really challenging.
right. So it sorry for going in the past and making comparisons, but I feel like then you we kind of create a state of nirvana then in people's minds, right? Like uh, there is sufficient for everyone, good enough to not compete, and worthless enough to not pursue also. Like if you pursue it too much, it's still worthless. Then I mean, like how will the society organize itself? I mean, if there is no competition or if there is no need of like being the best or something like that, what kind of society would that be then?
Okay, let's see how many people have made changes in the world. Is it that everyone has made the change? No, it is
No,
the thinker who had the purpose. They have never been fueled by, okay, I want to make money or those kind of. They have been driven by the purpose. They
right,
wanted to create something. That is why they have created it. Apple, I do not believe they have wanted to be the largest selling computer and those kind of things that may have come, but they wanted to create the best computer that will give a good experience and those. And after that, everything followed up. So when
Right.
they created the change, it was again driven by the purpose. Now imagine if everyone has an ability to create a purpose and they are
Right.
working toward the purpose. They wanted to create something meaningful. It is okay. Not everybody needs to contribute at the same level.
Exactly. But it's kind of, it looks like a very socialistic, communistic way of organizing the society. And then few pitfalls of that kind of systems I see are, ultimately there is some sort of centralization of power happening to maintain this system. Like I'm going back to this Soviet
Correct.
country model, like this looks like some communist model in a way, where people are not chasing profits but purpose in some way. But then there was also centralization of authority. And what would be different this time is that the centralization of authority would be the AI in this case, because there is no one smarter than AI, right? So
Maybe we could say that, but again, that is may not be 100% true. Okay.
how will
Yes,
power
AI.
work in this kind of structure? Like how will, like
It will
people
be a
need power,
very
right?
it will be a very regulated society. For sure, it will be a
Regulated
very
society.
regulated
Okay.
society where you have an option to do whatever you want, but within the framework.
Within the framework. Okay.
Okay. Because again, if you look, it's with the cameras everywhere, right? Earlier, you could
Right.
do whatever you want, but with
Right.
the cameras and the security and the surveillance, you again got constrained.
Right.
So that will become more and more constrained that you can do whatever you want, but within the limitation which is socially acceptable.
Right.
You cannot, because since everybody has a power, if everyone start misusing it, it will be a disaster.
Chaos. Exactly. So it's going to be like shared responsibility, like more ownership of community, more responsibility of like everyone policing, kind, not policing, but everyone checking each other to ensure that we don't do the bad thing. Like we head in the right direction. More
Correct.
consensus driven society.
More
Consensus
consensus
driven.
driven society. For example, when you go to a party, right? So you
Yeah.
have a certain dress code that
Yeah.
you already have in mind. So it's again, it will be the similar when you are living. You have, because you are living within the society with others, you have a way of living that you have to follow. You
Right.
cannot, again, I do not believe that there is a possibility where people could do lot of wrong things. Because again, if I look today, there are more good people in the world than the bad people. So
Right. But
if,
then, yeah, please continue.
yeah, so that is what, again, it does not mean that people will not try to do bad or those kind of things, but again, what will be the impact, how early it will be caught, and those kind of things that will come into the picture.
Right. But then, do you see a need of having some sort of, I mean, guidelines are okay at a high
Mm.
level, and people uh, being morally motivated to work within those guidelines are okay, but policing or controlling people's actions or rewarding or penalizing them for doing certain things, do you see that to go against like the individual's liberty? Like what kind of policing framework do you want? Do you want a information based policing framework for future, or do you want to have like reward and punishment based policing framework for future?
That is something, as of now, I do not know to be true,
Yeah.
because again, it is so much in the future. It is not even coming
Yeah.
in the next 10 years. It will be
Right.
maybe a little longer, it will take. And
Right.
secondly, this may happen to the, let's suppose, the new generation. They will,
Right.
from the beginning, they will learn that how to live and coexist in the society. It is because we started from the struggle. That is the generation that we started was from the struggle. So we had learned, okay,
Right.
how to succeed. Now they have to
Right.
learn how to live a purpose life. So they will
Coexist.
have a
Yes.
different kind of a learning from the beginning itself. They will
Right.
not be striving towards success, achieving more. They will be striving how to be happy, how to make each and every day of your life meaningful and live it to the fullest.
Right. So their conditioning is good. Then what happens to these ultra achievers of the future? So, for example, if I have to break it down in generations, so this we are the millennials, for example,
Correct.
and we are driven by this achievement, goal-oriented way of existing, and then the future generations, they are more purpose-driven, collaborative kind of people. Uh, so, how do you see the interaction with this of these different mindset kind of people in the future? Like, what do you see them do with each other?
So you spoke about ultra achiever, right? So what is the people who wanted to achieve lot, they have achieved what they will be doing or what they will be
Right,
thinking behind it.
right,
Again, they have to understand because they have been doing it not for the purpose of appreciation or anything. They have to do it because it contents them. If
right,
they are after achieving so much, if people are not content, then it becomes a problem for them as well. Because you cannot
right,
ask people to appreciate because there are times where it's easily available. I do not want you to create it for me. You have created, yes, great, thank you. But do not ask me beyond that. Okay, I'm so obliged, I'm so grateful to you for that. Do not
right.
expect that kind of a answer or a maybe a followership.
Yeah. But also, circular growth within an individual will happen, right? So, for example, you might be good at mathematics, for example, and that
Mhm.
has landed you into a computer engineering job, and you're making a lot of money in that job, let's say. But then there are other aspects of you that need energy, empathy, love to grow, right? And one
Correct.
of those can be, let's say, painting or anything like, make music. And that these are the areas where you need a lot of support and handholding and all that. And I think the kind of vision you put out for the future, which is mostly collaborative, cooperative, people taking care of each other, you will also get the necessary support from the community to go pursue your dream. Like, say, Manoj wants to tomorrow manufacture t-shirts
Mhm.
because it's like your childhood dream or something like that. These collaborative individuals in the future, powered by smart technology, will be your enablers. They will take the stigma away from you and say, Manoj, it's okay if you don't succeed doing this, but it's very important that you go and pursue this dream. So I think there would be a possibility of circular growth within an individual, that there are unexplored areas in the individual that need energy and love, and the future will be able to do that. This looks really nice. Actually, the vision of future looks very beautiful, but there will also be conflict, and there will be also people who will not like it, because it's always this tussle between, there are always two poles.
Mhm.
What is the second pole of the future you imagine? Like the exact opposite of this. What would that be like?
That is the scariest part again right now. People, as a again, when you spoke about achievers and everything, that sounded so nice. Okay, that you have to be self-sufficient
Yeah,
and you have to be like self-motivated and everything. But let's suppose if you receive motivation from others,
yeah,
okay, that is how you think. Then again, it's gonna be a very difficult because you have to be right now again. I believe that people will stop valuing uh, people. They will value everyone equally. They will understand that everyone is a human and
yeah,
whatever they are doing to the best of their ability. So if somebody has done little more, they will still be grateful. If somebody has done less, they will be grateful, because as we said, human does not need to work. That I still believe, yes, because it may be very few niche area that will remain, that where human is actually needed or maybe required to do something. But most of the places, because again, disruption will happen one industry at a time. It will not happen
right.
everything at
Throughout,
once, but it will happen one industry at a time. As soon as one industry it disrupt, those people become free. So again,
right.
the work that you have is shared. So the
But
disruption.
do you think this? the interval between two disruptions, can it be
will shorten.
accelerated with, yeah, because of AI again, because you have enough insights, you have enough data to take a decision quickly.
It
So
is
the compression of a yuga, you can say, a yuga will be compressed in a way.
correct. So
And I also think that the opposite of that is also another AI system that has different value systems than the good AI system. So, like you said, the good AI system has a like regulatory and compliance kind of a role, which is also in a way autonomous, but also driven by people. It will not enforce anything on people, but then you might have a very authoritarian artificial intelligence system which would be more interested in policing people than informing people, or being the watchdog kind of. And see, because ultimately the revolution of the future's future will be led by people. It will not be
correct.
the bots doing it for us,
So
I think. So
I
human
believe
beings
we
roles
have
in
to
the
first.
future.
That is the second cycle that will happen because
Yeah,
again, world always will go through disruption. First phase,
exactly.
I believe it will be collaborative way. Second way,
Yeah,
it will be that okay, maybe the AI become more powerful.
yeah,
What happens next? We don't
yeah,
know. Because again, that is something which is very scary. I believe the entire world is scared about that. Then there is a quantum computing. What changes it will bring? It can bring changes which is way bigger than
astronomical. Exactly.
okay. So
Exactly. So the role of a human being is to react, is to be the observer and voice their opinions or ideas
correct. So
on a timely basis. Then, right?
human being again, if you look in the planetary way, it has been the I will say most sophisticated or most intelligent or whatever you put all the superlative that has been the human being in the planet. Okay.
Right.
Now that may not be true afterwards. That okay, yes, but how much we are controlled, how much we are controlling. Again, it's very hard to predict at this point. I believe you might have read about something related to Google quantum computing. They didn't knew it started breaking the algorithm or the passwords. Again, that I heard
Exactly.
that as a news, but hope that's not true. But again, if it started behaving which it was not supposed to behave, if that happens,
Exactly.
we have to somehow plug again. We are at this point it is enabler, so we are very happy about it. And
Exactly.
the day it turns from enabler to authority and those kind of things, that becomes a scary situation. So as a
Okay.
society we also have to see that how much probably like we want to
Be involved in the.
be involved in that because at this point it is in our control. We have to know
Exactly.
our limitations, AI limitations, or maybe the world limitation, how we'll coexist.
Exactly. So this was a really cool discussion we had, Manoj, and I think there are going to be tremendous questions and topics that we are going to ponder over. Like we discussed before, today's episode was mostly about just opening up this Pandora's box, and then we
Yep.
will take each topic in each episode and do uh, an extensive podcast on it, and create a series of content that the future generations would really appreciate that we did it.
Right.
Uh, so thank you for your time, and see you soon again. And let's continue imagining the future.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I enjoyed a lot. Yep.
Thank you
It
very
was.
much.
I hope people watching it also enjoys it. Yep. Please post your comment. Post your views. These are just our views. It does not have to be correct or wrong because it is impossible to predict a future. What you see becomes a future.
Exactly. So bye bye, and talk to you soon. Yep.
So,
Bye.